WNBA's Caitlin Clark scheme flops as former champion dismisses league's intentions. Kathy Engelbert's plans for August were grand, but injuries exposed the flimsy narrative that was being built. The Chicago Sky-Indiana Fever game on the 9th was supposed to headline the freshly implemented Rivals Week in the WNBA. Aside from the coveted Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese narrative, the W tried to revive old flames by pitting the Dream against the Mercury, and revived last year's finals matchup with New York and Minnesota as well. We're a couple of days into this week, and the response? It has. Firstly, the main matchup ended up disappointing many. Both Clark and Reese were ruled out of Saturday's game because of injuries, and the matchup ended up being lopsided in Indiana's favor. On paper, it's supposed to be the best of the best going up against each other, but honestly, it was more of the same that we've seen all season long. Chicago can't hit threes, the Fever is running up and down the court, and the excitement just wasn't there. On the Women's Hoops show, hosts Jordan Robinson and Autumn Johnson broke down the lackluster start to this week. The league announced this rivalry week at the beginning of the season, and everyone was like, okay, is this just a way to put in the Fever and the Chicago Sky game not being by itself? So you just made up other rivalries to get in there? Robinson questioned. And then the Fever Chicago Sky happened. Caitlin's not playing, Angel's not playing, so it didn't make any headlines. Were these rivalries, Autumn? I don't know. And been amazing. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense. The only established rivalry in the league right now is Indiana versus Chicago. And even then, it's more about their two star players, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. The thing is, it's hard to create rivalries in the WNBA. Rosters keep changing. Players are waived, traded, and signed at a moment's notice. Even the WNBA players know about this, as Robinson and Johnson went on to discuss. But I like how Natasha Cloud brought it like this: as these are completely different squads when you look at the Lynx and Liberty, and who they've acquired during the off-season and how they're playing now. They said, agreeing with the Liberty star. What we saw last year is completely different from what we're seeing in this current moment. And honestly, that's the biggest problem this week. It's not about the matchups, or the games, or anything else. Engelbert took a shot, and it missed. Fans don't like it when the league tries to manufacture rivalries, or force narratives down their throat. The odds were stacked against the WNBA for this Rivals Week, because of the injuries to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. There's no doubt that it would have been easier with CC on board. The Indiana Fever star is at the center of the W's ongoing popularity boom, and even NBA legends are putting respect on her name. Celtics legend shows appreciation for Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the basketball world by storm, and honestly, it hasn't stopped there. From giant ad campaigns to superstar fans to her philanthropic efforts, Clark has been on America's mind for the last 2 years. Her on-court performances have been nothing short of exemplary as well. Being a top 5 MVP candidate in your rookie year is a feat that very few can say that they've accomplished. Of course, the Indiana Fever star doesn't always get love. It's pretty hard to get everyone on your side, and older players haven't exactly been the most welcoming or forgiving when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Legends like Cheryl Swoops are known for their distasteful views of the point guard, but it goes both ways. Recently, NBA and Celtics legend Bob Cousy showed the Fever star a ton of love in a Boston Globe article. When asked about the WNBA, the 97-year-old NBA vet gave Clark her flowers. It's a saleable product and, Caitlin, Clark's done a really good job selling it. It's enjoyable. My son-in-law is from Indiana and he's a Clark fan. She's exceptional, Cousy said. She's had a tremendous impact on that league and their earning potential. They should be kissing the ground she walks on, not trying to foul her and get her out of the gets high praise coming from the 6-time champ. And it lines up with what the other legends have to say about Clark as well. There's no denying the Fever guard's impact on the league, and we can't wait to see what she will do next. Stay tuned for more information, AIM. The cameras had barely cooled after another nationally televised Indiana Fever game when the conversation began to shift. Not about the score, because once again the Fever had lost, but about the league's grand experiment, the unspoken plan everyone suspected but nobody in the WNBA offices would ever confirm. Caitlin Clark wasn't just drafted to save a franchise. She was brought in to ignite the league. From the outside, the strategy seemed airtight. Take the most electrifying college player of a generation, hand her the keys to a struggling team, saturate the schedule with primetime slots, and watch the ratings and ticket sales climb. For a while it worked. Clark's first month in the WNBA saw record viewership, sold-out arenas, and a spike in merchandise sales that made her jersey the hottest item in all of women's basketball. But as summer deepened, the shine began to fade, and the scheme began to crack. The push too far. Everywhere Caitlin went, cameras followed. Road trips felt more like concert tours, with arenas selling out in minutes, not for the fever, but for her. And while Clark's talent was undeniable, so was the physical toll of carrying both a team and a league's marketing push. Rookies aren't supposed to lead the league in media appearances and minutes played, one agent whispered off the record. It's unsustainable. She's not a machine. The fever around Clark's arrival, pun unintended, had morphed into something more complicated. Instead of letting her grow into the pro game, the league seemed determined to milk every ounce of momentum right away, no matter the cost. Enter the former champion. That's when Danielle Torres, a two-time WNBA champion and now a respected studio analyst, decided she'd had enough of the protect the brand politeness. On a late-night panel after yet another Indiana loss, she cut through the post-game chatter. The league thinks it can just plug a superstar into the spotlight and ride her to the bank, Torres said. But this isn't a video game. Caitlin Clark is a human being, and their little scheme is already showing cracks. When asked what she meant by scheme, Torres leaned forward, her tone sharp. Look at the schedule. Look at the media obligations. Look at how they positioned her as the league's savior before she even played a minute. That's not development, that's exploitation. The clip exploded online, especially because Torres wasn't just an outsider. She'd been the face of the league once, back when the WNBA tried a similar star-first push with her teammate in the early 2000s. That experiment ended with burnout, injuries, and a wave of frustrated players who felt the league only cared about them when the cameras were rolling.